Mama Jones has been secretly in love with Chrissy Lampkin for years, but now she is revealing details that have the entire industry in shock. What she has learned has shocked everyone. Is Chrissy truly fighting for her life? Or is this just an exaggerated paranormal reality TV gimmick? Others have claimed that Chrissy has been hiding this for months. But why is Jim Jones so devastated? This isn't a drill, people. Here's the real explanation behind this bizarre disaster. Guess who brought the tea? Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin just received some of the most shocking news in their entire relationship. Mama Jones herself, as you are all aware, when she speaks, it's either going to be messy, contentious, or just plain chaotic. This time, it's all three. So let's take a moment to reflect, because this story is more complicated than you may think. Chrissy and Jim's relationship has been challenging from the start, as everyone has witnessed the drama surrounding Anna's wedding. Mama Jones's drama over Chrissy's lack of approval. And of course, the infamous "you will never be my daughter-in-law" moment that made everyone shudder. However, things have since changed because there are rumors that Chrissy has been battling leukemia and hasn't disclosed it. Before we do that, let's talk about how this information was ever made public, because, believe me, it was messier than a reality TV reunion fight. No one likes to bring up the fact that you withhold anything like this from the guy you claim to love. Not even her friends, admirers, and worst of all, Jim Mama Jones, who has been supporting Chrissy for years and accused her of a number of crimes, including gold mining, is serious about her son, as you are all aware, dishonest, and even trying to put distance between herself and Jim. After she began to notice Chrissy acting strangely, you knew she had to stop going out. According to an informant, Mama Jones eventually noticed some strange changes in Chrissy's behavior, and she stopped going out as much. Although Chrissy loves parties, she hasn't been seen on red carpets or at events in a few months. We won't know yet, but she also began wearing wigs more frequently. Rumor has it that Chrissy was concealing something by quickly and easily fans commented on her most recent photos asking, "Are you okay, Chrissy girl?" Then, like any curious mother-in-law, Mama Jones went through the Jim's belongings and discovered tests, medical records, and doctor's notes. According to the story, Mama Jones was the first to discover that Chrissy had leukemia. The cover-up was even worse than Jim, keeping it a secret, so we'll go into that. More importantly, though, why was Chrissy hiding it? Since it turns out that Chrissy was unaware of her illness, the diagnosis alone will have for 3 reasons. Chrissy probably didn't want to be seen as ill because of the way reality TV stars act and project an air of invincibility. In addition to the fact that Jim and Chrissy's relationship has been going on, she allegedly started posting pictures on Instagram with a smile instead of being honest and acting as if nothing was wrong. She even reportedly told Jim that she had a cold, but a cold doesn't cause hair loss or require you to seek secret treatments behind your fiance's back. Sis has been shaky for years and doesn't want Jim to leave her. As you already know, she would have been saying things like, "See, I told you she isn't fit for my son." She said this because she was afraid Jim might start to drift away or worse, cheat. And she didn't want to deal with Mama Jones's tongue. However, this is where things really go wrong because, according to an insider, Jim lost it instead of sticking with Chrissy. I had never seen Jim Jones so distraught when I finally learned that he had gone into panic mode. The man who was constantly rapping and flaunting managed power and money, even though he knew his life might not be long. However, things got worse because Chrissy ignored Jim when he tried to talk to her. Yes, she refused to answer his questions, didn't want to discuss it, wouldn't let him go to her doctor's appointments, and even slept off. Why would Chrissy push Jim away now? He has supported her through all of the highs and lows for years. And now she wants to project a completely different image. According to some accounts, Chrissy feared Jim would abandon her, while other accounts claimed she was in denial and would not accept the truth. If you read correctly, there is a possibility that Chrissy Lynn's leukemia is not natural. This is where a full-blown dispute begins. We'll talk about the most outrageous conspiracy theories about Chrissy's illness next. Could it have anything to do with some dark secrets from her past? More importantly, what will Jim do once someone tries to set her up? Part 2 is almost here, so don't miss it. Get ready for this story to take a bizarre turn that even the most fabricated reality TV program could not have predicted. It's going to get much wilder. Though you may have thought Chrissy Lynn's leukemia diagnosis was the biggest shock, listeners tell us there's still a lot to learn, so we're only beginning. Some people are already implying that Chrissy's health issues might not be as widespread as they appear to be, and this story goes beyond just a hidden illness. I mentioned that, yes, some people here are openly implying that someone might have set her up. But let's discuss who and why. Jim Jones is shocked to learn that Chrissy's condition has infuriated Mama Jones, who is already outside in his car. He has been crying as he weighs his options. According to an unnamed source, she is conducting detective work akin to what she teased, as you did in a CSI Harlem episode, and what she finds are 2 babies. That someone is involved, and it's thought that Chrissy wasn't just sick, but was made sick before you all found out. Let's examine the facts while you're still holding on to your pearls. First, Chrissy has been hiding the entire situation. Second, Mama Jones was able to locate the medical records at the appropriate time. Third, based on some reports, Chrissy's condition deteriorated shortly after a specific person returned to the scene. Who would that be? One word on the street will catch you off guard. Plain career, yes. There was a woman who was the talk of the town and who couldn't stop talking about Jim before she married Chrissy. You guys know who she is. It's the same Tahari Go from Love and Hip Hop, who has been connected to more musicians. Then a winner of a BET award, to be honest. I genuinely believe that Tahara's sporadic return following the party matched Chrissy's deteriorating health. This is the same Tahiri who clearly had unresolved business with Jim even while he was with Chrissy. Let's put it this way. After making the connection, he found that Chrissy's health rapidly deteriorated and that Tahiri and Jim had been spotted at the same event a few months ago. We must now ask the important question of who Jim is paying off, and why Jim's money has been missing for a significant portion of the last few months. As you are all aware, Mama Jones doesn't tamper with her son's bank account. So when she looked into it, she discovered that Tahiri had been accused of doing dubious things behind the scenes before anything to Chrissy. I'm saying that it's a little too fortunate that an old enemy has mysteriously reappeared in the picture after fighting for Chrissy. She also discovered that it was being used for some covered medical procedures for Chrissy. Did he need to be secretive? Why all the suspicious activities and secret deals if Chrissy's leukemia was a real illness? Let me clarify. Jim's money could have been hush money, according to sources, which means that someone knows something they shouldn't, and Jim is now paying to silence them. Let's think about this carefully. Did Jim try to hide anything from Chrissy? Did Tahiri or someone else work in the background? Or did Chrissy engage in some risky behavior that went awry? For the next part, you'll be shocked to hear that there have been rumors that Chrissy dated some dubious men before she fell ill. It's talking about money laundering, backdoor transactions, and possibly even some criminal activity. As everyone knows, Chrissy talks about her business, which she has been writing for Jim for years. But insiders say she may have engaged in some side activities that could have endangered her life and health. And that some people think her illness isn't just a random one, but rather a form of retaliation. Chrissy didn't realize she had been drawn into something much more serious. And when she attempted to leave, someone stopped her. This is when things go wrong, because who is to blame if Chrissy wasn't just sick, but was the worst part is that Jim knows what's going on. According to your sources, Jim has been fairly concerned because he knows Chrissy's condition isn't normal. Since he is secretly supporting doctors and hospitals and hiding medical records instead of attending going forward, why would he be doing this? Why would Mama Jones have to learn about all of this on her own? The real question is whether Chrissy is safe at all, or whether Jim is planning to get revenge behind the scenes. More importantly, who will be revealed next? Because believe me when I say this, the drama isn't over yet. If this is more than just a medical issue, Jim might be attempting to shield her from something even worse. In the third section, we'll examine the potential outcomes of the entire situation, including whether Jim Jones will come clean in the end, whether a covert investigation is going on behind the scenes, and whether we are witnessing the biggest scandal in hip-hop and romantic history. If you thought part 2 was odd, get ready because this is where everything goes haywire. We're talking about secrets being revealed, hidden intentions, fascinating information, and a shocking conclusion. Let's continue where we left off. We now know that Jim Jones has been acting strangely, that hush money is involved, and that Chrissy may have been set up by someone. Whether it was an old rival or a botched business deal, the real issue is what will happen next, because, darling, this isn't just some hip-hop and love drama anymore. Perhaps even someone from Jim's own social circle is beginning to resemble a full-scale criminal conspiracy. And guess who recently joined in? As already mentioned, the FBI and other authorities have reportedly been investigating Jim's finances for months, when millions of dollars abruptly vanished from Jim's accounts. It turns out that the government has been keeping tabs on him and waiting for the right opportunity to step in. Can you guess what happened to Chrissy? The most absurd aspect of her illness is that she may now also be a target. The authorities are investigating whether Jim has been using illicit money transfers to conceal something much more serious than just her medical bills. Jim has been trying to keep everything under control, so now is the time for things to get ugly. You all want to know more about Chrissy's activities, and there are suspicions that she is aware of them. If the government had enough information, Honor Chrissy might be considering saving herself before Jim defeats her because, let's be honest, would you go down for a man who might have hurt you? However, after years of telling Jim that Chrissy was bad for him, her shocking revelation will blow your mind. More than she is disclosing, it has been suggested that she would be willing to talk to the police. Let's talk about this now before you all start complaining. Chrissy is more certain than ever that she would stab Jim. She is not a fool in the back to defend herself because if she truly loved Jim, why would she hide this whole leukemia problem? Why is she talking to people behind Jim's back now? The fact that she allowed Jim to spend millions of dollars on some mysterious treatment under false pretenses seems suspicious. Jim's old shady brother Cameron also went out the other night. He did speak out, but he did not name anyone. He made some extremely offensive remarks about how some people are playing with fire and risk burns. If you look closely, it appears that Cameron is aware of this because, let's face it, if Jim is trying to warn him about what is going to happen before it's too late, but it might be too late because it was only a few days ago that a close associate of Jim Jones was reportedly arrested and questioned. This usually means that the federal government is closely monitoring the situation. Let's analyze it now. This is where it gets crazy. Some people believe that Jim could have avoided this whole situation if he had listened to his mother from the beginning because, let's face it, Mama Jones had been warning Jim that this would happen. Be the last of him, but it seems like she was right all along. If Chrissy is really going to turn against him, Jim will have to decide whether to hold himself accountable for whatever shady activities he has been involved in or to put Chrissy last. Because, darling, in situations like this, it's either you or them, and he's not going down without a fight. And this could be the end of Jim and Chrissy's romance forever if the federal authorities have enough evidence to file charges. Finally, the next episode will be even more bizarre. So you can be certain that this story isn't over yet. The scene is straight out of a movie with Mama Jones pouring tea, Chrissy Lynn's health issue, and Jim Jones stranded in the middle of complete chaos. The question is there more to this story? Is this a medical disaster or a family breakdown? You're telling us that even though social media is taking off, you already know if you would want to hear from me. In your opinion, is Chrissy's condition real, or is this just another crazy situation between her and Mama Jones? How is Jim Jones handling everything? You don't want to miss it either. The tension that will only increase as this story goes on and I get luckier. Please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons because there will be changes soon. This will set off an alarm so that you can be the first to know that I will be there when the next shocking discovery is made. As you can see from the comments,